Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So this video is quite spontaneous and I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, but I just get these ideas in my heart and I have these experiences in my days and I feel like I need to talk about them because I'm a talker and I feel like people need this information and want this information and I guess to hear these types of videos. So this video is going to be about addressing medical trauma and I feel like it needs to be addressed because I'll tell you why. So I was putting my daughter to bed tonight and I always sing to her and I always talk to her. She's only 21 months old, but she responds as best as she can and I really love and cherish these times that I get to talk to her. And then randomly I had this song come into my head which reminded me of my past. And when I talk about my past, I talk about before any of this psychiatric drug nightmare started for me, before withdrawal, before adverse reactions, reinstatement, before I knew what any of those words even meant. So an old song from my past popped into my head at random. And around the same time that it came into my head, I started singing it to my daughter. And then I was thinking about, while I was singing, how we have a doctor's appointment coming up on Wednesday. So today is Monday, so in 2 days. And the purpose of the doctor's appointment is to get my annual/quarterly blood work for my diabetes and everything associated with that, my kidney function, my thyroid function, my cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. And then my daughter is also having an appointment right after me, and it's just a general checkup. I have a couple of questions for the doctor. But so I have this song in my head from my past, which in the past it was a positive emotion song. And at the same time that I'm thinking about and singing it to my daughter tonight, I'm thinking about my doctor's appointment in 2 days. And this is going to be the first time that I go to the doctor since I might get emotional, since my doctor moved away in December. And so I'm meeting a new doctor for myself and my daughter. Sorry. I feel like it's good for me to like be real in these videos because this is like raw emotion and I feel like people need to relate or can relate to this and need to feel not alone and validated. That's why I do this. And so I'm as I'm thinking about the appointment and singing the song, I'm crying and then my daughter, poor daughter, starts crying. And I didn't mean to trigger her, but I just got overwhelmed with thinking about going to a new doctor on Wednesday who's going to take on me. And I can't avoid doctors because I have diabetes and celiac disease and chronic other health things that have nothing to do with drugs. And then my daughter and my doctor who moved away in December was like an angel on earth. I mean, he saved my life. When I was going through my reinstatement and adverse reactions, I remember going to the walk-in doctor one day and I was so desperate to get help. And I knew that it was probably going to be fruitless because I had been to so many doctor's appointments in and out of the hospital throughout my reinstatement journey and nobody was helping me. They were all saying, anxiety and putting me in the ward and giving me more drugs and the cycle. But I walked into the walk-in doctor that day and actually on my way to the doctor's office, one of the ladies in my support group who I've talked about my support group many, many, many times on my videos, the group of ladies that I found online that were also going through drug withdrawal and we ended up all becoming very close. Anyway, one of them called me while I was on the way to the walk-in doctor that day in 2021, early 2021, or maybe it was late 2020. I can't remember. And she was in a lot of distress. So I pulled over the car and I went for a walk and her and I talked on video chat for like an hour or so. I was trying to help her out and calm her down. And I was struggling a lot myself, but this is just what we did. We just video chatted constantly. And so I let her go and I said, I got to get to the doctor before they close. So I get to the doctor and because I had chatted with her for quite some time, I ended up being the last patient of the day. And I sat in the office and this little short man comes in. I'd never seen him before and I didn't realize he was a walk-in doctor. Like I said, I didn't recognize him. Um, and he sat down with me and he said, "How can I help you?" And I just burst into tears and I told him everything that had been going on with me. So I had developed, full body movements, and I had, everything under the sun that goes along with these drugs. I was in such bad shape at that time. And I said, I can't wait to see a neurologist. The other walk-in doctor told me they were going to get me in to see one, but the waiting is 6 to 12 months. I cannot wait that long. I mean, my whole body was jerking, and he just saw me, and he had so much compassion. He spent an hour with me, and I said, "Doctor," I said, "you need to take me on as a patient. Like, I need help so bad. Like, please, please." And he was like, I'm not taking on any new patients, but I will see you." And I thought he was just trying to be nice and just saying that. But sure enough, like, he had arranged, he said, "Call my office on Monday," because it was a Saturday. And he said, "They'll be expecting your call." And I thought, yeah, right. You're going to forget all about me when I leave here. And sure enough, when I called the office, they knew exactly who I was. They got me in to see him, and that man saved my life. He got me on disability. He validated everything I was going through. He, prescribed me the beta blockers that ended up stabilizing me. And then he just said, he literally said to me, "Melissa, I'll do anything for you that you need, anything that you want, anything you need, any specialist." He bumped my neurologist specialist up to 2 weeks. I ended up seeing, I believe, yeah, it's hard for me to recall because it was such a traumatic time, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it got bumped up to 2 weeks. And again, that corroborated the story that I had myself and with this primary care doctor, that what I was going through, and the neurologist then further confirmed it. And, they were like my team. And then, he got me through my pregnancy, and I had so many complications. And, he was just the kindest, most genuine doctor I had ever met. And truly, like, I had full trust in him, and that I had no trust in any medical doctors at this point when I met him. And like, and then I just got hit with the news a month or two ago, he was moving away. And anyway, so going back to tonight, I had all these flashes in my head of like going back to the doctor in 2 days and to the same clinic that he worked in, and not having him. If you're anything like me, you have not only mistrust in the medical system and in doctors, but an actual severe medical trauma. That's the way I feel. I mean, everything that I went through, the gaslighting, the invalidation, the, mistreatment that I endured through all of my reactions and everything I went through in my hospital stays, and nobody believing me and nobody helping me. And then this man just like was like my angel. I really believe it was fate that day that I went into the doctor's office, and I happened to be an hour later than I would have, and I happened to be the last patient of the day. So he spent an hour with me as a walk-in patient, and normally it's 5 minutes in and out of a walk-in clinic. And it was just incredible to me. And then taking me on as a patient when his list was full. I mean, it was just all these things that lined up, and I don't believe I'd be where I am today without him. And so I wanted to address the medical trauma, because like, I have so much fear and almost despair knowing that I have to go to a new doctor on Wednesday. And even though I'm not looking for help for any neurological problem anymore, I've overcome 90% of what I was going through from these drugs, but just entering back into the potential of being disregarded and being, because I'm having still these skin issues that I've talked about since I had COVID. I don't know if I'm dealing with a histamine intolerance or what, but I'm having rashes, and I've shared that in other videos. But just, I have so much fear, and just, it brought back so much just thinking about doctors and everything I went through while I had this song playing in my head. It overpowered me, and I just wanted to address it and say that I know that most people that are in this journey or on this journey have quite an extreme level of medical trauma. I see it all the time in my coaching clients and in the people that I talk to and who reach out to me on social media and YouTube. And it's a real thing. I mean, that's why, one of the reasons why this journey is the hardest journey to go through, because not only do you have the severely intense symptoms that you go through, but then they're not recognized. And not only are they not recognized by the medical community for the most part, then the opposite happens where instead of getting help, you're actually gaslit and told either it's in your head, it's not possible, um, you just have anxiety, or you need a psychiatrist, or you're not on the right meds, or this is impossible. Everything that people like us hear and go through, it adds such a layer of trauma to the already traumatizing experience of the symptoms alone. It's real. And I mean, even though I'm actually going to be 3 years off all psychiatric drugs on the 21st of February. So a little over a week, I've hit the 3 year mark, and it still affects me to the point where just thinking about seeing a doctor makes me cry. It is very, it's not talked about very much in this community. I feel like I've come across it a lot in my one-on-one conversations, but I don't think the community at large is talking about this enough. I mean, to some degree, yes, but it really is something that largely affects us. And so if you're feeling that way, you're definitely not alone. And I wanted to say that I validate your experience, and I know what you're going through and the hell that you're going through trying to get, I mean, whether it's disability or whether it's just help tapering, coming off your drugs, or even getting the prescriptions to continue a properly paced taper. I feel you so much. And it's hard to find doctors that are going to help you, but there are some doctors out there. So if you really need a doctor to continue writing you prescriptions, to help you taper, whatever the situation is, get you on disability, just keep looking. I mean, I went through every psychiatrist in my region. I think I saw probably every walk-in doctor that there is here as well, except that one day. And the interesting thing is the doctor that I saw, who ended up being my amazing angel doctor, he does not even work in that clinic. He was just filling in because they were so short staffed. So it really was fate that I met him that day. But just keep pushing, like, do not give up. I want to share another story. So when I had my baby, I developed severe preeclampsia, which turned into HELP syndrome, and I had to have my baby via emergency C-section 6 weeks early. So HELP syndrome is elevated liver enzymes. It's an acronym, and I can never remember. It's elevated liver enzymes, low platelets, and anyway, it's a fatal condition if it gets far enough. So you have to have an emergency C-section. Your liver eventually ends up failing, and you die, and the baby dies, and so yeah, I had such severe swelling from these complications that my hands and arms basically lost function for 3 months. My last month of pregnancy and then 2 months postpartum, I could not use my hands. They were completely numb. It felt like the nerves weren't innervating the muscles at all. And my wrists and hands were completely useless. I had them in braces 24/7. I had to have 24-hour care. I had to have full-time help with the baby and myself. I couldn't shower. I couldn't dress myself. I would go days and days without showering because if I didn't have help, if my mom wasn't able to do it, and I couldn't get home care, I couldn't shower. I couldn't hold my baby. I couldn't change her diapers. I couldn't change her clothes. It was just a horrible experience. And I mean, I went to my angel doctor just constantly, and he was constantly sending referrals for me. I live in Canada, so everything has to be done via referral through a primary care doctor. It's very frustrating. You can't get any specialist help without a referral for the most part. It's a lot of red tape, and it's annoying, but anyway, so even though he was helping me as much as he could, I called every single neurologist in my province, like every single one. And I was willing to even go outside of the province if I needed to. I was just like, I need help. I need someone to help me. I need a surgeon. I need somebody. And I met with a surgeon who thought I had carpal tunnel syndrome. And then once he saw how bad of a state I was in and how swollen I still was, he's like, I'm not doing surgery on you. I'm not convinced this is carpal tunnel. I'm like, you're doing surgery on me, and you're doing it soon. Like, I have to be a mother. I'm a single parent. Like, I can't function. You are doing this surgery on me. I'm willing to take the risks, whatever it is. And even though I was terrified of medications because I was hypersensitive, the health of my baby and myself, and like our quality of life and me being able to mother, trumped everything. And I was like, I'm willing to go through a temporary flare up of withdrawal symptoms if it means I can care for my child. I was completely debilitated and disabled. And I literally just plowed through every doctor until someone would listen to me. I got the surgery. I don't know if it was that or if it was the passage of time, but after 3 months, I really started to recover. Now I have full function in my hands completely. I have a tiny numb patches, a couple of them in my thumbs, but they don't they don't affect my ability at all. So you have to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. Some people are fine with not having any doctors anymore, but some people again need them. If you need to taper and get further prescriptions, or if you need disability or whatever you need for a claim, a lot of times you need a doctor. And if you're not finding one that's validating you and listening to you, just continue to push. I mean, like I said, I went through every psychiatrist in the region when I had my pregnancy stuff. I went through every neurologist, and eventually you'll find one that's going to help you. Sometimes you have to be almost not rude. I don't want to say that, but assertive. You have to be assertive. You know what's going on in your body. You know what's happened to you. I tried people. That's one of the reasons I reinstated, because I had so many people telling me from the medical community, probably well-meaning people, say, you had good luck on SSRIs for so many years. Your body obviously tolerates that particular one, and go back on it, and you're probably just experiencing progressive mental illness, even though I didn't have it before the drugs. And they're like, you need help. And so I bought into that, and I ended up getting their help and having severe adverse reactions. And then I knew in my gut, my intuition, I was like, I know that these drugs are damaging me. And through all the, throwing me around in the ER and the psych wards, I was just like, I've had enough. I know what the problem is. And I listened to my gut. And listen to your gut. I mean, I've said that in videos over and over again before. Like, you have to listen to your gut, and your body. You know what's going on. You know what happened. If it was, a withdrawal or adverse reaction or whatever, if they're trying to tell you, no, it's just a progression of mental illness, or it's just this, or just this, that, fight for yourself, advocate for yourself. You will become so strong in this process. And you'll also learn, it might take some time, how to tap it back into your intuition. Listen to your body, advocate for yourself, be assertive, and search, because there are doctors that will help you. Anyway, that was my long-winded answer, or my long-winded story. It came up tonight, and I just had to share it. I know it's probably well relevant for a lot of people. And it's a real thing. It's a real problem. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay. That's just my little spiel for today, but take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.